Hi, I'm Andrew with Grimbeard Leather, and welcome to Grimbeard's Academy of Conjuring. For this video, I'm going to show you how to put this dice tower together. So this dice tower is pretty unique. It's kind of a blank canvas for you, so that you can be creative with it. You can paint it any color that you want. You can add your favorite stickers to it. You can use markers on it and do designs with it, Sharpie markers, things like that. The black is just a base coat, or you can leave it just as is. It's got 2 leather panels on it. Each of the panels will have different designs on them. Some of them won't have designs on them at all. They'll just be like a dragon scale pattern or something like that. This dice tower works like any other dice tower. You just roll your dice through the top and they come out the bottom. If you have some felt or like a mini rug or piece of cloth or anything like that, you can always glue it into the bottom. And then for storage, it folds up nicely so you can slide it into your backpack or into a bag and bring it with you to your game sessions. So this will be a pretty easy project. Takes about 15 to 20 minutes to put it together. If you've already purchased the kit, there are 19 pieces in this kit. So 19 different pieces and then 2 pieces of leather. The leather, like I said, will be completely different. It'll be different colors. Some will have designs on it. Some won't have designs on it. Each of these are labeled with their part number. And as we get into the instructions, it'll make more sense. So I'll say take part 1 and part 2 and glue along this edge and hold it together until it dries, something to that effect. Only thing you really need to bring to the table is some glue. I would highly recommend using a super glue with some type of a brush in the bottle so you can brush it on. You can also use a Q-tip if you wanted to, but super glue tends to work the best. It has a very fast working time, which means once you put it on, you only have a few seconds to get the pieces together before it dries. But I made this so that it's very easy to put together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spread these pieces out for you. We'll zoom the camera in a little bit, and then I'll go through step by step on how to create this dice tower. All right, I'm going to show you how to put this dice tower together. We're going to start with the smallest pieces. So grab these 2 little wheel-looking things, and this is part number 14 and part number 15. So part 14 and part 15. And then these little brick-looking ones that are part 16 and 17. So kind of hard to read the writing because they're so small. All we're going to do is take lengthwise, and we're just going to insert them into this and push down till it's flat. Make sure you push from this side because you want this side completely blank. This is going to show on the outside of the tower right there. And if you do it the other way, then the writing is going to show. So make sure that when you're putting that brick into this wheel, that it lays flat like this with the writing on that side. So we'll just do it with the other one. Just put it here, and then just push down with your thumb until it's flush on the back. And these will come back to, so we'll set these off to the side. Next piece we're going to work with is the front of the tower and the back of the tower. So part number 9, the little one, and part number 10, the big one. So we have 2 different pieces there. So part number 9 and part number 10. So we'll lay these here, and we're going to work with the stairs in the bottom of the slide. So it's part 4, part 5, and part 6. These are all the same, so you don't have to worry necessarily about which stairs they go on, but you want the writing to be facing down. And I'll show you why with the tower. So as you can see in the top, if I put it in like this, the writing's going to show. If I put it in like this, the writing's not going to show. So starting from the back of the tower, part number 10, go ahead and take one of your stair pieces. It doesn't matter which one. So for this, we'll use part number 4. And you're going to put it into the slots like this, but not with the writing up. You want the writing down. And these you do not have to glue. So we'll start with this. You're going to insert it just like you did with that brick piece on the wheels. Put it in there, and then push down on the middle with your thumb, and you can hold the pieces right here to kind of steady it until they fit into place, and it's flush across the bottom there. Okay? So we'll do that with the next one too. Make sure the writing is not up, the writing is down, and push it into place. Push it down in the middle. Be cautious, don't push from the sides or from these little tabs because they can bend and break off. So make sure you're steadying it with one hand and pushing down in the middle with the other. That'll prevent it from breaking. And the last stair, again with the writing down, we'll put in that last piece there, push down in the middle, and all those pieces should be flush now. Again, you don't have to glue these. You can glue them, but the more thickness that you're adding to the outside of the wood, it can cause problems and they may not go into the holes. So next piece that you're going to do is the front of the tower which is part number 6, writing to the inside, and that is the only way it will go. So you won't be able to do it this way where the hole placements are. So writing on the inside, and you're going to push these down, and you kind of want to be careful with this one because we're super close to the edge with that hole. So go ahead and start with that one there, kind of angle it in, and you'll see the other parts going into place slowly. Don't try to force it or push it in all at once. Just kind of maneuver the parts into place. And then once they're semi-together, you can see kind of a gap there. What you're going to do is hold it and then push with your thumb in between the two holes until it flattens out. And there's the first part of your tower. So those are the stairs to where for the back of the tower like this. So, all right. Next piece that we're going to do, we're going to use 3 pieces. So you're going to use part 11, 12, and 13. So part 11 is the left side, part 12 is the right side, and part 13 is the bottom of the stairs for the dice tower. Okay, so we're going to start with 11 and 12, but before we do that, notice that they say right and left side. That's facing you. So the tower is facing me right now with this gap. So right side of the tower will go on the right side of the tower. Left side will go on your left. So how this is going to fit together is just like this. But we need to make sure that we have this stair piece in place first. The stair piece, again, with the writing, you want it to face down because that's what this piece is right here in the bottom. So if it's facing up, you're going to see the writing. If it's facing down, you won't. Okay. So we're going to insert this into one side so you can do the left side, just like you did with the stairs. Just push the 2 pieces into the 2 bottom holes there, and these will fit snug. You won't have to glue these 2. Okay. There we go. Hold it with the one hand and push down with your thumb in the middle, and that should fall into place like that. Okay. And on the next one, we're going to do the same thing. Flip it over and go to the other side. And you're going to put the 2 pieces in. This one's a little bit trickier, but not too bad. You're going to push down into the other side and then push in the middle while you steady it with the other hand. So that's what it will look like. Okay. And then this piece is going to fit into that. All right. So we have a little bit of gap here, a little bit of pull so that we can kind of spread it open and then slide it on to fit it into place like that. Okay. So this will be a little bit tricky because we're going to have to glue these sides as we put them together. So go ahead and fit it like this. I know it's going to be pulling on it a little bit, and this may come out, but it shouldn't come out on the bottom. So just lay it into place like that to spread it out, and this is so that we can get the glue in there because the super glue will act very quickly. If you're using Elmer's glue, you'll have a little more work time. Just use a very thin layer of the Elmer's glue. So we're going to start with the brush here, and we're going to do one side at a time. So pick whatever side you want to do, and take your glue right here and go up and on these little edges. Then flip it over and do these here. And it doesn't have to be perfect, and it doesn't have to be a ton of glue. So just enough for it to catch. There you go. And on this side, because we're already in the base right here, you can just kind of stick your brush in there and just kind of move it around a little bit. It's not going to take a lot of super glue for sure. So now that we have those pieces in there, go ahead and push these together into their grooves so that that one side clicks into place. There you go. And we'll flip it over, and you can keep it on your plastic. The glue will wipe onto the plastic, or protect your surface rather, but it will kind of smear it on the wood. So just be a little bit careful with that. Next one, we're going to do the other side just like we did this side. So grab a little super glue. We'll go from the back on this one. Go. And flip it over and do this side. There we go. All right, so I'm going to put the super glue off to the side, and then you're going to do the same thing here. You just kind of pull and kind of work this into place. And this may take a little finagling because you have the other side is glued. So there we go. All right. So that is the top of your tower with all the pieces together. And this you'll just kind of want to set off to the side and let it dry. If you want, if you have like a rubber glove or something like that, you can wipe the excess glue off. I don't worry about it too much. Like you can use your finger to spread it out, but super glue will it will connect to your finger. So that's the front of the tower. The next piece that we're going to do are the frames. So this is piece number 18 and piece number 19. Piece number 18 is the large frame and piece number 19 is the small frame. And this is what's going to be used for the leather pieces. So you can kind of fit those in there like that. And like I said, the leather pieces are going to be completely different. So there we go. So again, writing, you're going to want to face it. So don't put it like this. Otherwise the writing will show. You're going to want to put it like this. And gluing is pretty straightforward on this one. You're going to go around the outside with the writing with your super glue and then just lay it on there until it's square. So I'll do that real quick. In this part of the video, we'll speed up just for time. All right. So once this is glued right here, we're going to lay it on the front of the tower and you'll just kind of square it up to make sure that it's flush. And then just hold it down and that super glue will set pretty quick. There we go. All right, and you'll notice where all the holes were connecting. That's going to be covered up by the leather. So we'll flip it over now and we'll go to the back. Let's go to the back and remember the writing you want to face toward the tower. I'm going to glue that and we'll speed this part up. All right, now that that's glued up there, you'll flip it over. And just like you did on the other side, you're going to place it on the back. Now make sure that you level it with the top. You want it leveled with the top, not with the bottom, because this part is going to fold into the dice tower. So very little working time here. So just hold it down. Just give it a couple seconds. Here we go. And I'm not too worried about the inside of this because that's going to be covered up by leather. So if you have a little glue that's coming out right here, or this messy stuff, that's totally okay. So, all right. So this part right here is now done. This is the top of the tower. Eventually, once we put this together, these two pieces right here are going to connect into the side. And if you want, actually, we can put these together right now. So on the side, this is part 13 and part 14 and 15 that have those little bricks in them. So take one of them, doesn't matter which one, put it on the outside and just push it into that slot right there. There we go. Then level it out as best you can. And that's what's going to create these side pieces here that are kind of hinges. Okay. Right. Push that down on a flat surface. And then the last one here will stick inside. Push it down. All right, there we go. Now it's completed. So that's the back of your tower. At this point, if you wanted to, you have the option to start adding stickers to it. You can paint it. If you're not quite as messy with the glue like I was, you won't run into that problem right there. If you're wanting to leave it just black. But at this point, you can paint it. The only thing that I would recommend is keep the paint off the outside of these wheels. You'll notice that they are very flush with each other, and that's so that this is loose enough so that it will close. And if you get too much paint on that outside piece right there, it can cause problems with it fitting, and it may not be as nice when you're putting it up and down and collapsing it for storage. Otherwise, you can paint this whatever color you want. You can use stickers on it. Just don't put anything in there if you want to use the leather panel. So if you're wanting stickers, generally what I do with the stickers is I find the placement that I like the most. So if I want this dragon on there, I'll put it maybe right here. And then I'll flip it over. And I'll mark it with a pen where the white is sticking out. So if you can see where the white's sticking out, I mark it with a pen, and then I'll cut that with a razor blade so that it's completely flush across the surface. And then you can kind of layer the stickers all the way up there to cover all the wood if you want. Honestly, it's totally up to you. Base coat of paint, you can use just a normal acrylic paint or you can use a spray paint. But now's a good time to paint that if you're going to. So let's set this off to the side, let it dry. And we're going to go to the last 5 pieces of the dice tower. So this is the base. This is part number 1. We're going to lay that flat with the wording facing up. This is part 2 and part 3. So it's the right side and the left side. Again, facing you. You want it to be left and right, and it's going to fit in like this, like that, okay? The front of the base is part 8, text facing up, because that will fit in like this. And then part number 7, which is labeled back of the base, and that will go here, like that, okay? So once we get this together, and we're going to glue 3 pieces, so we're going to glue the front, the back, and the left or the right side. It doesn't matter which. I'll probably glue the left side first. We're going to glue this last because this piece is going to have to go in here and fit in before we glue this piece on, okay? Because it fits nice and snug. So let's start with let's do part 3 and part 1. So the left side, part 3, and the right side, or I'm sorry, the base, part number 1. So grab your super glue and flip this over like this and just hit these 3 areas. Okay. All right, and then you're going to take that piece and you're going to lay it over top and just fit the puzzle pieces in just like that. And then just kind of hold it there for a minute. You can put pressure on it. You can blow on it. That'll sometimes cure the glue a little bit quicker, but it's pretty fast in curing. So once you get a steady amount there, nope, it's not quite cured yet. So once it steadies itself, then you can let go and we'll move to the back and the front of the base. So the next one we're going to do is the back of the base, and that's part number 7. Part number 7, again with the text facing inward. We're going to do one side, this side that connects with that, in the bottom. Let's do the inside pieces. You've got 3 there, and then 2 on the bottom. And do not do the back side. We'll do that last. So I'm going to flip this over, and we're going to connect it to the back, just like that, and fit it into place. And we'll just kind of hold it. So the more that we get these pieces together, the more steady it's going to be. And I'll flip this around for you so you can kind of see. But that's how it's coming together. We're going to do the front next, and then we'll add the side while this is standing up in it, okay? I'll turn that back around, and let's go to the front of the base, and this is part number 8. Part number 8. We're going to do the same thing, just kind of dry fit it without any glue. Do not glue this side, just glue the bottom and the left. Okay. Text facing in, and just fit it together just like a puzzle piece and kind of hold it there for a minute. All right. We're going to give this a few seconds to dry. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to take this part here. This is where the dice are going to fall out. So make sure you don't glue it in backwards. Don't put it like that. It will go in like that. So make sure you're paying attention there. You want the slide to come out towards you. So we're going to, the long piece, so where the long piece of leather, you'll notice these are 2 different sizes. So if the long piece is facing the back, you're doing it right. So you want to make sure that these are dry first so that they don't glue into this piece. But we're going to fit this into that hole right there. All right. Make sure that it collapses down like that. Here we go. And at this point, you can glue that other side on. So a couple things to be aware of. You're going to have to do all 3 of these sides first. Only do the indents. Don't do the parts that are raised. And once you get all of those on, you'll put this together, hold it for a few seconds, and then what I would suggest doing is picking this up and moving it around in case there's any glue in there that's catching on it, because you don't want it to glue into place. It'll break free, but it's a little bit easier to do at this point. So if you wanted to, if you did paint this and put stickers on it, now's the time to do this one. You'll have to paint this piece separately from these, but I would paint this first or put your stickers on it, however you're going to do that before you put this last piece together, because then there's kind of no going back at that point. Okay. All right, so let's put this back in. We're on the home stretch here. All right, so 3 sides. We're going to go ahead and glue those just like we did the others. Just in the indentations or the crevice. And I'm not really doing a good job with the gluing. I'm doing this more for speed just to show you how it goes together. So if you're a little more precise, if you do like mini painting or something like that, you're probably really good at gluing pieces together. So you can probably do this a lot better than me. All right, so we got that. Text will be facing in. It won't go the other way. So fit it into the bottom first, and then I turn it up and I just kind of fit those pieces together like that. All right. All right, and we're going to let this dry for just a few seconds, and then we're going to start picking this up, and I want to make sure that it's loose. There we go. Yep. Okay. All right, and then I just kind of maneuver that, and if it's loose and it's not catching at all, we've got it in the right spot. So, all right, so there is your base tower. And like I said, if you do a better job with the gluing, it's fine with the way that it looks just plain, or if you paint it, it's going to probably look a lot better than this if you paint it. The last thing that we're going to do is we're going to put these panels on. All you have to do is glue the back. So if you have a thin coat of glue, you can use the super glue around the edge. Just get as close to the edge as you possibly can with the super glue. Or you can use Elmer's glue, you can use wood glue, just whatever you have on hand. So we'll start with the small panel, which is the front. We're going to tilt the whole thing up so that we have a flat surface to kind of push down on a little bit. We'll take our glue. And I'm not going to do a whole lot of glue on the back. It really doesn't take that much. So just keep it up to, I'm going to do it on the corners here and try not to hit my table. It's not going to take a whole lot of glue, but if you want this to be permanent, I suggest going at least around the whole edge, if not on the entire back. Just fit that into place just like a puzzle piece, and it'll fit in there nice and snug. Just kind of push it down with your fingernails on the side. I wanted to get it nice and flush so that there wasn't a gap with the leather. All right. You can also use the end of a pen cap to kind of push those leather sides down if you want. And that's what the front of the dice tower will look like. For the last part, go ahead and close your dice tower. And we'll set it on there. And we're going to do the same thing with the big panel. So I'm just going to take a couple dabs of glue, put them in the corner there just to hold it into place. And since you have a flat surface right there, set that off to the side. We'll do the same thing, just fit in like a puzzle piece. Kind of tuck it in with your nails there. There we go. All right. And that is the back of the dice tower. Okay, so we have the back, we have the front. All right, and there is your finished dice tower. So awesome job. It was pretty easy, wasn't it? Didn't take a whole lot to put together. Like I said, if you pay more attention to your gluing job, it's not going to be as rough as mine. Or if you glue it together and then you paint it, it'll look even better. So you can make this unique, make it your own, make it different. The leather panels will be all different. You can add stickers to it. Works just like every other dice tower does. This one just happens to be collapsible and will fit inside of your backpack, inside of a bag that you carry with you. But again, thank you for watching the video. Thank you for buying my kit. Hopefully you'll have some time to check out some of my other products at the game stores. And if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up. You can kick me a message. Grimbeardleather.com is my main website. I have an area there that has my contact information. I don't mind helping you, so feel free to reach out to me. Have an awesome day.